Alright, I'm not gonna lie, there isn't much to talk about in this chapter. It's really just an introduction to a new character that's a part of Special Division 7, and also a reintroduction to another character from part 1 of Chainsaw Man's story. Now, I will be making a video theorizing the true purpose of the Chainsaw Man Church, considering right now they're falling harder than a house of cards, and they've only been around for less than 30 chapters. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button and the notification to be notified of the video. But without wasting any time, let's get into the review. Okay, it starts with the members of the Chainsaw Man Church combat group at the entrance of the church, armed to the teeth with AKs and Glocks. So the weapons of the Chainsaw Man Church had that many people theorized weren't weapons made by Asa and Yuru. Well, they're just regular firearms. Now, the question comes up to how the church even received firearms in the first place, considering the purchase of firearms in the world of Chainsaw Man are banned worldwide because of the Gun Devil incident. Even though they're secretly being circulated and sold illegally by governments around the world as revealed by Makima in part 1 of Chainsaw Man, disturbing the fear of guns so the Gun Devil keeps its strength and the pieces of the Gun Devil owned by the governments across the world don't become useless. I find it hard to believe that any of them would supply the Chainsaw Man Church unless they're trying to destabilize Japan for their own ends. In any case, it's pretty clear this isn't a combat group. I mean, it's literally made of kids that were dumb enough or just brainwashed into throwing their lives away for the Chainsaw Man Church. As you see, the cowardly Nobana is even a part of this group of child soldiers who are going to attempt to defend the church. And then we see this old man from last chapter give these kids an inspirational, disturbing speech. And we see that he's really ride or die for Chainsaw Man, because he tells the kids that these firearms are weapons that were bestowed by this light to drive away the darkness within the Japanese government. And instead of thinking how insane the entire situation is, the kids actually believe this nonsense that's being fed to them, which is just so sad to see. And what I find interesting about what this crazy old man is saying is driving the darkness within the government away. This could be alluding to another evil entity controlling the Japanese government and possibly governments around the world, orchestrating events from the shadows. Because we saw in part 1, Makima was secretly in control of the Japanese government, with it being well-known fact, but because of how strong she was and her contract which made her immortal, no country with the exception of America outright tried to oppose her. And this is making me think we could be seeing another situation like this occurring, only on a more of a global scale. I mean, think of all the Illuminati conspiracies, with the leader even possibly being the Death Devil. Anyway, we see police are outside the Chainsaw Man Church and order 2 agents from Special Division 7 to raid the building, and a person bursts through the window like it's nothing. We see this individual is actually a fiend or a devil that's taken control of a corpse of a human. And their personality is a lot more human compared to the devils that we've seen in part 1 and really the entire series of Chainsaw Man as a whole. With the way that they're acting reminding me a lot of how Spider-Man jokes in a serious situation when he's fighting. Because instead of being openly hostile towards these kids that are shooting at him like 99.9% of the devils would be, she instead jumps, dodging the bullets, and incapacitates the students by nailing them to the walls with hammers effortlessly while screaming her disgust of using kids as child soldiers when all of them should just be studying at school. And I find it so ironic that a devil is more responsible than the only human adult in this crazy situation. Then we see the devil, who I'm going to call the Hammond Devil, give a superhero speech basically telling this kid to stay in school. But this speech is basically interrupted by the old man who killed one of the members of the Chainsaw Man Church by trying to land a fast one on the Hammer Devil. And we see, like Yuko and the former class president from the beginning of the story, this old man made a contract with the Justice Devil, who we still haven't seen, to become a devil himself and fight against the public safety devil hunters. And we see that this old man knows a lot more than he should, because he rightfully assumes that the Hammer Devil is just a devil who's occupying a corpse of a dead public safety devil hunter. And we did see in part 1, even though it wasn't directly stated, it was heavily implied the Violence Fiend, who was the nicest to Kobeni, was actually her former partner who got assassinated during the Katana Man arc, with the Violence Fiend actually taking on pieces of Kobeni's former partner's personality when he took over its body. And then we get the goofiest devil transformation we've seen in Chainsaw Man, as the Hammer Devil looks completely unfazed and calls out how arrogant humans really can be. And the old man screams that he's justice incarnated, and before he can actually kick the Hammer Devil, a figure slices off the old man's leg, and in the next panel we get the return of Katana Man from part 1 doing his signature samurai slash, as he screams out that there is no such thing as justice with Chainsaw Man, and that is how the chapter ends. Now, I'm not really surprised that we're seeing Katana Man. After all, it seems like Fujimoto's bringing back all the hybrids from part 1. So in the coming chapters, Rize fans rejoice, your queen is likely gonna be coming back soon. Well, that is unless she went back to the Soviet Union. But it really makes me question why Katana Man of all people joined the Public Safety Commission. Because if you remember in season 1 of the Chainsaw Man anime in part 1 of the manga, Katana Man absolutely hated Denji for killing his grandfather, the Yakuza boss who Denji was a slave to, and went to great lengths to kill him. Even killing his own henchmen for the chance at killing Denji, and even orchestrating an elaborate plan to assassinate the people in Denji's special division to isolate him so he could kill him. And I'm guessing even though Fumiko joined Special Division 7 to save Denji, I find it hard to believe that Katana Man of all people would do the same, especially after Denji kicked him in the nuts numerous times. And the guy generally came off as a bit of a gangster. I mean, his grandfather was in the Yakuza, who wouldn't be the happiest working for the government. Now, the most logical explanation to this is he could be in a similar situation to Denji's former life of being in public safety, with Denji essentially being public safety's dog who was on a tight leash. And if he disobeyed public safety or even tried to run away, well, he'd be killed immediately. But let me know in the comment section down below, why do you think Katana Man of all people joined public safety? And do you think an evil entity is lurking in the shadows orchestrating everything? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As you know, I do read the comment section, so give your thoughts down there. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was the Fraudulent One, and I'll see you guys later.